Hello everyone, I wanted to talk about some things that are being said about the Zeitgeist movement and the Venus Project. The first one I'll address is an organization called the Resource-Based Economy Foundation. Now this is one of two splinter groups that decided to break away from the Zeitgeist movement because they got tired of, quote, waiting. Because the Zeitgeist movement, we wanted to get organized first. Well, they apparently didn't want to do that, and they broke off and started their own thing, another organization, which is, they're both interconnected because they're both composed of the same people that left the movement, which is RBOSE, R-B-O-S-E. But I've seen videos where people will try and, like for example, the picture of the headquarters of the Resource-Based Economy Foundation, which looks like the Tower of Babel. Well, these people, I've seen so many videos where people are like, the New World Order is here, and then they show that and the Zeitgeist movement and all of that. They don't mention to you that both of these organizations hate the Zeitgeist movement and the Venus Project, and they will openly tell you this. And they've said it for a while now. They have no relationship to the Zeitgeist movement or the Venus Project, ultimately. And again, they're splinter groups. They got tired of waiting. They have a very, very despotic and derogatory disposition towards the Zeitgeist movement and Venus Project. So anybody who tells you, who uses these organizations as a way to say, see, it's the New World Order, they don't know what they're fucking talking about. Another one is in regards to the idea that the Venus Project is a for-profit company. This is based on the fact that the Venus Project, they say that they're non-profit, which they are, but they're also listed as for-profit. This is a requirement based on legal reasons. And you can find this, I'll put a link into what I'm talking about here. 501c3 exemptions apply to corporations and any community chest fund or foundation organized and operated exclusively for religious, charitable, scientific, testing of public safety, literary, educational purposes, to foster national or international amateur sports competition, promote the arts, or for the prevention of cruelty to animals, to children and animals. And it's also for tax-exempt reasons. It has nothing to do with them being for-profit. Even every single organization has to do this. Even Greenpeace, the Habitat for Humanity, World Vision, Red Cross, all of these organizations fall under the exact same category. Therefore, one can make the exact same argument that is being made towards the Venus Project in regard to, they're for profit. Well, one can make the exact same argument on just about any organization based on this evidence. So it's really not even real. And then another one is in regard to basically their publishing company, which they use to lobby. And since I said that, I want to point something out. Lobbying is not bad. It's when corrupt, powerful people, elitists, lobby for things like, getting rid of the Glass-Steagall Act. That's what's bad lobbying. There is such a thing as good lobbying. But that, what was it, Cybertronics, I think. I'll put a link to it in the description section. I forget how to pronounce it. But the point is it's not a for-profit organization, and bottom line, Roxanne Meadow and John Fresco have put their project in Venus, Florida up for sale. So apparently if they are for profit, they're not doing very well. so whatever. Another one is, I've constantly encountered this. The Zeitgeist movement works for Theosophy, Freemasonry, the UN, Lucis Trust. Now, my response has always been, okay, show me how Theosophy, Freemasonry, the United Nations, or Lucis Trust has ever given any money to the Zeitgeist movement or the Venus Project. And I've never, ever, 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 ever gotten a response where there's any valid argument. There's no evidence to support this. It's nonsense. And lastly, in regard, people keep saying, oh, the New Age, like Keith Thompson, they're closely associated with the New Age. Well, watch this, and then we'll see what you
Jesus was having his ministry and was crucified. Philo has elaborate historical works. He was actually a follower of the Jewish tradition of prophecy and was expecting the Logos, the Word, to appear. And if anybody would have cited this person, this Logos, the representation, the coming prophecy, the Son of God coming, he would have documented this like crazy. He doesn't make a mention of it. He doesn't mention any of it. He even mentions the historical figures in and around that were later interpolated into the Bible, such as Herod and Pilate. There's at least 20 other really well-documented historians where they lived exactly during the period. They don't say a word, and all those little one-liners, you can't possibly hold that up and think that justifies what the Bible claims. At least I don't.
Well, how is it if Jesus never even existed, if he wasn't even a prominent, let's say, call him a prominent rabbi or a prophet of the day, like you're claiming, how is it that the Illuminati and other secret societies actually believe that they are physical descendants of them, so much so that it's spawned an entire works and these alleged family trees? I mean, is that all just, how would they come up with this? And then how does the Illuminati themselves believe that Jesus existed and that he was just an initiate in the mysteries from hanging out with the Essenes, and that he was elevated and enlightened and told the secrets of the mystery schools? How is it that they actually believe that, they say he's not God, but they say that he at least existed and that he was in these mystery schools, he was a prophet, and he was teaching the secrets from the mystery schools to the masses. I mean, there's huge conflict.
Justin Martyr, one of the first Christian historians and defenders, wrote, "When we say that he, Jesus Christ, our teacher, was produced without sexual union, was crucified and died and rose again and ascended into heaven, we propound nothing different from what you believe regarding those who you esteem sons of Jupiter." In a different writing, Justin Martyr said, "He was born of a virgin, except this in common with what you believe of Perseus." It's obvious that Justin and other early Christians knew how similar Christianity was to the pagan religions. However, Justin had a solution. As far as he was concerned, the devil did it. The devil had the foresight to come before Christ and create his characteristics in the pagan world. You would think that a guy who rose from the dead and ascended into heaven for all eyes to see and performed the wealth of miracles acclaimed to him would have made it into the historical record. It didn't, because once the evidence is weighed, there are very high odds that the figure known as Jesus did not even exist.
Christianity just is not based on truth. We find that Christianity was in fact nothing more than a Roman story developed politically.
The reality is, Jesus was the solar deity of the Gnostic Christian sect, and like all other pagan gods, he was a mythical figure. It was the political establishment that sought to historize the Jesus figure for social control. Christianity, along with all other theistic belief systems, is the fraud of the age. It serves to detach the species from the natural world, and likewise each other. It supports blind submission to authority. It reduces human responsibility to the effect that God controls everything, and in turn awful crimes can be justified in the name of a divine pursuit. and most importantly, it empowers those who know the truth, but use the myth to manipulate and control societies. The religious myth is the most powerful device ever created and serves as the psychological soil upon which other myths can flourish.
Well, sounds to me like Peter Joseph considers the figure of Jesus as just about as creditable as the so-called coming Maitreya. The point being is he calls all religions the fraud of the age. Think about that for a minute. He's not giving any validity to the New Age movement. If anything, he's calling the New Age movement another manifestation of the same bullshit. So that is the bottom line, as Mark Dice simply pointed out, which does seem to be the case, I guess. The Illuminati believes that they're like descended from Jesus. Yet Peter says Jesus didn't exist. So we have this big conflict right here. No, he's not. Not only is he not promoting the New Age movement or New Age ideals, from what it looks like to me, he's condemning it, just like he's condemned all other religions. And again, I agree. And that's all that needs to be said on this topic. So, thank you for watching. Have a good one.